I can completely understand that. And by the way, it doesn't end there. It doesn't end with protesters being run down in D.C. so the president can use the church and a Bible nearby the White House, a church, as a prop. But then there was the call with the governors, which was just, it was off the hook, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But let's go to where this all began. Joining us from Minneapolis, NBC News correspondent Gabe Gutierrez. Gabe, how did Minneapolis do over the night?
Hi there, Mika. Good morning. Well, there were peaceful protests overnight in the Twin Cities, several dozen arrests at the state capitol, but no violence, thankfully. And that continues what we've seen over the last several days. No violence here. Of course, the worst of it was last week. But I want to show you where I am. This is the site of where George Floyd died, and it has been turned into a growing makeshift memorial, as you can see behind me. Yesterday, George Floyd's youngest brother, Terrence, came here for the first time, visiting the site where his brother died and took his last breath. It was a very emotional scene, and he made that impassioned call for peaceful protests and an end to the violence that you talked about a little earlier. Now, as all this was playing out, Mika, two separate autopsies were released yesterday, and that is adding to some debate about the cause and manner of death. And first, actually second, the Hennepin County Medical Examiner released an autopsy that ruled the manner of death as a homicide, but said that there were some underlying conditions, including heart disease and some intoxicants in Floyd's system. Hours earlier, a privately funded autopsy by medical examiners hired by the Floyd family, it had found that the manner of death was homicide, but that there were no underlying health conditions. And the Floyd family, the attorneys for the Floyd family, have said any intoxicants in his system was completely irrelevant to this case. Now, moving forward, the state's attorney general, Keith Ellison, is now going to take the lead on this case. Protesters here continue to demand for charges for the other officers involved in this case. But Mika, we also learned that a public memorial has been scheduled here for Thursday, as well as other memorials in North Carolina, where Floyd was born, and also in Houston, where he grew up. Those are scheduled to happen over the next several days. Mika?
NBC's Gabe Gutierrez, thank you very much for your report. And still ahead on Morning Joe, two of the governors consistently holding the White House to account: Illinois' J.B. Pritzker and Michigan's Gretchen Whitmer. We'll get their reaction to the call that the governors had yesterday with the president. Plus, Washington, D.C.'s Mayor Muriel Bowser on yesterday's events. And from Atlanta, Mayor Keisha Bottoms, who's shown remarkable leadership during all of this. You're watching Morning Joe. We'll be right back.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.